Peace, peace, people. Welcome to We Are Our Ancestors, the Jelly Moose's Cafe in Lima's World. It's been a minute, but I am so glad to be back in the land of the living, or be black in the land of the living once again. Today's episode is going to be short and sweet. I'm a little tired. I had a full day yesterday, couple of events that I had to do, and I will talk more about that at another time. Today's episode is simply going to be Black Joy and White Tears. It's 2025, and Black people have been really showing up and showing out. We are truly our ancestors in every sense of the word. Now, it is Sunday, so as always, if you are making your way to the house of worship, or if you are leaving the houses of worship when you're listening to this and you're going to get some breakfast or lunch or whatever it may be, please remember to support Black businesses, Black restaurants, Black establishments, put Black dollars back into Black hands, into Black families. All right, let's get into this. So we all know that the forced labor camp in Louisiana burned on a couple of days ago. And it has been Black joy. The memes are really, we are some creative people. I mean, we were on it within a matter of minutes of getting these memes out. And the one that you see there is one of my favorites, the Black couple sitting outside sipping tea as the oppressor's house burns to the ground. And it has been nothing but Black joy. I mean, we're coming off of the high of sinners. We're still coming off of that high. And then this happens. All I can say is that our collective efforts of bringing Black stories have opened up some type of portal. And I believe that it started this year with Kendrick Lamar's They Not Like Us performance at the Super Bowl. That portal had started to open, and then we had Sinners, and it opened up a little bit more, and it paved the way for us to start to, or for the ancestors to start to really move. You know how in the Bible it says, Jesus knocks and he stands at the door waiting for you to let him in. So Jesus is kind of like a vampire. He's not going to come into your heart unless you invite him in. So the ancestors weren't able to move until we started to wake up and realize that, you know what? It's the ancestors we need to call on to move on our behalf. You see how they burn that shit down to the ground, and none of us are going to jail for it because we ain't had shit to do with it. So the ancestors are able to move in a way that they stay hidden, and they can't explain how the hell this stuff happened. I say move, ancestors, move. And then you're going to have some white tears along with this Black joy. You're going to have some white folks that's crying, oh my God, I can't believe they burned this historical site down. My Lord, what us going to do now? Lord, have mercy. We done lost the plantation. And at the beginning, you didn't see any white people talking about this at all. They were on radio silent, especially in public. Now, I'm sure they have their own little private groups where they're able to go into and, voice their opinions behind the backs of their Black friends because, they try to be allies. But like I've always said, a lot of them are just a lie. But they've been radio silent, the first couple of days, yesterday and the day before, they weren't saying shit. But I wake up this morning and I see a few Black people who share the same sentiments. I see Black people crying white tears is what I have been seeing. And I have seen a couple of white people to comment in blackface, meaning that they have chosen a Black friend who thinks the way they do and post that Black friend's comment. So it'll resonate with the other Black people to basically say, this Black man or Black woman don't think you should be celebrating, and neither do I. But I can't say it because I'm white. So I will use a black face to say it for me. And hopefully you'll look at this black face and go, you know what? This black man's right. No, that's not what we're going to do. So you white people, you sun dodgers, who feel like you have to go get a black friend or so-called friend, that one black friend that you have, and use their post to try to reach us, the joyous black people, it ain't gonna work, boo-boo. It's not gonna work. Now, there aren't a lot of black people. There are a lot of black people who are joyous about this. You're gonna find your religious black people who are also radio silent. Mostly your black Christians. They're not going to say, they're not going to show their joy for this, because in their eyes, they have been so conditioned to believe that God truly is a white man that sits in the sky. So they're not going to say anything about these white people losing their homes, because they truly believe you should pray for your enemies, even though your enemies have always prayed, and that's a different pray, on you. So you're not going to see a lot of black Christians say anything about this. They're just posting scripture and, like, oh my God, this is a tragedy, or just not talking about it at all. Because again, they have been conditioned to not say anything against white people at all. So that's it. That's the post. I just wanted to bring some black joy to you this morning. I would like for, and I know I don't even have to say this because this was in Louisiana. Louisiana is a big proponent in that state of spirituality, of African spirituality, of root work, of conjure, of voodoo. So they know to go to cleanse the land and release those African souls. Yeah, and then we have one more thing. We have some black people who say that we have burned down, or they have burned down history, and that our ancestors' legacy lies within those walls of the plantation, and that even though most plantations didn't teach about the enslaved contributions or the enslaved lives, but they talk more about the enslaver, that we have now burned it down, or this particular plantation is now burned down. So now we can't even talk. Yes, we can, because it's a lot of pictures. It's a lot of pictures of that plantation online, of it intact. And when were they ever going to start talking about the enslaved? When were they ever going to talk? This is the oldest plantation that was still standing in America. When were they going to start talking about the enslaved people? And it's not just the plantations that are here that have been preserved. Our ancestors left so many things for us. We just have to open up our eyes and look. The wrought iron fences that you see in the South, they have African symbols all in them, but you don't know that, or people don't know that because they don't take the time to study. They just want to study the plantations. And what about the African American and the black cemeteries all over this country? And I'm not talking about the hidden ones, because we understand that our ancestors are buried all over this country. It's not just cemeteries, but 400 years of oppression. You can't really go too far without being on top of black bodies. But there are cemeteries of enslaved people that are out in the open, but we're not talking about preserving their resting place. We just want to preserve the place where they were enslaved. See, the cemetery in some way represents freedom, because when they transitioned from the physical to the spiritual, that was freedom for them. But we don't want to preserve the cemeteries. We want to preserve the forced labor camps. I promise you that if concentration camps were still preserved in Germany, and they happen to burn down, and some folks wouldn't bat an eye and wouldn't cry either. But you would never find people getting married in a concentration camp, nor would you find tours being given in a concentration camp. They preserve their history in museums. And people go into these museums and they learn about the atrocities of the Holocaust. And they can see in plain sight what information their ancestors left without having to go to a concentration camp. You can teach your children about Black history every day when you're at the stoplight. Hey, baby girl, baby boy, do you know who invented the stoplight? When you're pouring sugar in your coffee. Hey, baby boy, baby girl, do you know that your ancestors worked? Do you know how this sugar came to be? We don't need those forced labor camps to tell the history of our ancestors. They do. Because it's a way for them to whitewash and control the narrative. We now have control of the narrative. Take that control and start teaching your children, your grandchildren, each other. Some adults don't know. And find other places. We don't need the forced labor camp. All right, until next time, you know the drill. Love yourself, love each other. Give yourself some grace, give each other some grace. We are our ancestors. We are blood of their blood, bone of their bone, and spirit of their spirit. Honor your ancestors. They will honor you. And until next time, stay Black.